Welcome back to Lost Odyssey. So, what would
where to now?
Well, remember that we still have yet to take care of this Count Ayashi. So,
okay then.
So, let's go back to Numara. AKA Ming's kingdom, for those who forgot.
I'm sure he has, he has taken the time to reflect on his action and become a better person.
Oh, yeah, clearly. And now, a CGI cutscene.
Oh, right. With Ming recovering her memories, the deal is broken. Oops.
Oh, shit. Well, crud.
That's
you know,
kind of
Godzilla.
Yeah,
you know, in
more
hindsight, I
kaijus.
should have done. In hindsight, I should have maybe put that statue at the bottom of the sea.
Wasn't that turned into stone?
In exchange for the sealing of your memories, right? It's a trap set by Gongora. He devised it.
My
so that
memories
all
came
souls
back,
come alive when my memories returned.
Said, land in Numara. Aye, aye.
Yeah, we don't have much of a choice.
This time, Ming, we're gonna help you protect your kingdom.
Alright,
If our
that's...
hearts combined.
You said that, and then you quote, save the kingdom, but half of it's already been wrecked. Partly by you.
Okay.
Okay, there's your emerald weapon moment.
Well, more
Kind of.
diamond in this case.
Yeah, more like diamond weapon moment, but yeah. Alright, let's fight it then.
Guess he doesn't know who he's fooling with, climbing on board like this.
Shit, the pirate!
Said, stop the ship. We'll take him on right here. Aye, aye, sir.
We're gonna do this Final Fantasy X style.
Basically.
Alright, time to teach him a lesson.
Alright, time to defeat the kaiju.
It just wouldn't be Final Fantasy without beating a kaiju.
When it comes to fighting the Arthrosaurus, use physical damage. In the case of our mages, use the spell Force Use, which is literally concentrated physical damage in the form of a spell.
Huh. So this game sort of called Final Fantasy 13 Stick of the Ruin spell.
Basically, although it's worth noting, Joel, if you haven't noticed that ever since 13, Final Fantasy basically adopted it properly and started using it almost all of its products. Which honestly, I kind of understand why, it was possibly a tool that was severely lacking, and the previous games were, relying a lot of, exploiting just the elemental weaknesses for your mages instead of having a tool that could be used in a neutral kind of context, outside of high-level spells like Flare and Ultima.
I'll give them credit that was actually one of the ideas that wasn't bad from 13 anyway.
No.
Like, let it not be said that 13 was completely made out of bad ideas. Mainly
Oh, no.
just bad execution.
Well, that's a thing, Jova. Most, like I've explained in the development cycle in our rerun, like most of the good ideas were left on the cutting room floor. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Because the game's development was one of the biggest messes I ever heard.
So you see,
Yeah, again,
again,
I know I've said this before, but it bears repeating. Maybe if Mr. Toriyama actually sat around with the team and decided, this is the vision, this is the game we're going to make, instead of, just randomly making things without a clear plan, maybe the game would have turned out better. Just saying.
You see, Ming, that was the secret you were missing back then. Punching the creature really hard.
Basically. Lives?
Hey, is that big Hulk headed for the city?
Is he acting like we didn't just beat his ass?
Yeah, that's
There's
a
more-
big drawback.
there's
It
more.
wasn't the only one.
The Revival for Sora's pack will
right,
attack the
yeah.
city of Numara. Defeat them before they reach the city limits. So basically, just like Godzilla, they come out of the sea and go straight to Tokyo. I'm sorry, Numara. So we have to stop them from reaching the city. Basically, there's 4 of them, and we have to defeat each individual one as quickly as possible.
If
So
only
we're
one of them
basically
reaches Numara, it's game over, by the way.
So basically, we're playing a bit of tower, or in this case, island defense.
Again, it's just like when Diamond Weapon is heading towards Midgar. So
Well, much less forgiving. In that case, it's scripted so the Diamond Weapon just stops and waits for you to fight it. You know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like here, there's an actual real-time event in that
Even in the
regard.
original version, the Japanese version of the game, where, you know, you did not fought, you know, Diamond Weapon, it just happened to have the cutscene happening almost immediately, so... Alright.
So let's take. You can see all 4 of them in those red dots on the minimap there.
Hopefully they don't move too fast, since we have to fight them each.
Fortunately, the game will actually show you where they are even during the battle because the minimap stays there. Don't worry.
That's the thing, Jova. They keep moving even during the battle, so it basically is an incentive for you to actually, you know, get your ass going.
Each individual fights, each of these are exactly like the one we already fought. So I'm just gonna skip. So I'm gonna skip most of them because again, it's the exact same enemy we just fought.
Sure.
You managed to edit it just right, I see, so that the music never stops.
Yeah. The battle music is always playing non-stop during this part.
Yeah, but
Oh no! I get that, but I mean, like you Oh, never mind. That cut
Yeah.
was more apparent.
There you go. That's the last one.
It's just the last 2 times you managed to make it seem as though the music flowed seamlessly.
Oh, did I? I wasn't even trying to do that.
Coincidence.
Wow. That's a pretty damn good coincidence, given that you did it not once, not twice, but counting this one sort of thrice.
Well, and that's it.
Numara, yeah, turns out Ming, you just needed to have a bunch of people with big dicks running around. Who would have thought?
Also, the reason I thought they were acting like we didn't beat it was because Ced's dialogue seemed to suggest that was the same creature just going back there. But I digress. Alright, so Numara's defended. Surely they'll be generous about that.
we defeated the
Afrosaurus. Yes.
Yeah, that.
Sure did. Lucky for us, eh, Ming?
Yes, thank you. My one regret that has plagued me for over 1,000 years has finally been defeated. Well, that takes care of that. Let's see what's going on back in Numara. Surely they'll be grateful we just saved their lives.
Yeah, about that.
Alright, and now that we actually have access to Numara again, we have a couple more dreams to watch over there.
And it says that, no, we wanted to be destroyed by the thing, and you stopped it. You didn't save our lives, you ruined our deaths.
Had a feeling that was coming.
Alright. Here we are again. Welcome back, my queen.
Happy Ming.
Happy Minty.
Teo.
Queen Ming is back! Praise be.
Pretty popular, aren't you? Why don't you say something to them?
Well, geez, Seth, it's almost like she's their queen.
Hi.
I apologize for being away so long. I'm glad to see all of you well.
Jova.
Well, I'm glad to see you too, Queen. Still so beautiful and still so strong.
I knew I could just Queen Ming to defeat the Afrosaurus.
I'll
Also,
admit.
by the way, Queen, can you please help us? We're consistently out of focus. We're always blurry.
Numara is saved, and it's all thanks to you.
I'm so happy your queen is back. Hopefully we'll put General Calculus in his place.
Wow.
Kakanis, huh? Guess your absence must have turned him loose.
I'll admit, I was thinking he would have, tricked the whole kingdom into thinking we had kidnapped the queen, but apparently they're all happy to see us.
No, what, Ming? Are you going to go back to there?
No, I'll be alright. I have an important task to take care of.
Like the
take care of that, maybe?
like my object physics in my character model.
The clipping.
No, it's not even clipping, Teo. It's more so that thing that she has on her waist looks like it's alive.
Yeah, again, it's a ragdoll physics mechanic, but it's similar to clipping.
So all joking aside, I guess we did get a generous welcome back to the city.
Kitty.
Run a business when the Great Gate is closed.
Don't worry. It's
Bomber.
They're not important. Welcome. I haven't seen you in a while. Blah, 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 blah. Just pay me and we'll...
Enjoy your stay.
Great customer service.
And remember, when you stay in an inn, you go to sleep, which means you get a chance to review any of the dreams you've gotten so far.
We have only a couple of them left, as noticed.
Mm-hmm. In fact, we're gonna get one of them right now.
So there's like 3 left, it seems.
So then, what now? I am going back to the palace, taking back my
See?
rightful
Look at that
throne.
thing on her, like...
Yes.
Can't you let go of the bar itself now? I'm well sure we'll get you back there safe and sound. Okay.
It's up there with the hair of the protagonist from Heavenly Sword.
Well, that one was more the flowing of that. This is more akin to an object. Let me try to use an example. It's common in stuff like with the Source engine, the one used by Valve. When an object, for example, is on the ground, like say a piece of debris, or a medical bag, for example, and it constantly moves around and it looks like it's about to move through the floor, and that's because it's a combination of things of the game not detecting where the object should probably be, and as a result it constantly changes its position. It's kind of something similar that happens here.
So I'll say, I am pleasantly surprised, but it looks like us getting back at Kakanis might be easier than I thought.
Well, 0% approval rating, basically, aside probably for the soldiers.
Kudos, that apparently he is so dickish that people are like, yes, please, come in and beat his ass.
Whatever. Don't worry, these are important. Basically, I'm searching
We're children!
Yeah, basically. Right now I'm searching for... Yeah, if I remember correctly, it's those 2 over there. Because I remember there was one over here, but I wasn't exactly sure what the exact spot is, and this is it. Alright. Jova, go on.
My mom's so slow. She really ought to stay home and take care of the housework instead. She's getting too old for this.
Of course.
Well, sorry.
Sorry. This reminds me of something.
Mm-hmm.
This reminds me of mine now.
Oh god, Kaim's own grandma. That would be a sight to see.
Alright. So, this one is called...
A dream.
Return of the Native. The mother stands by the island pier, waiting for her son. Her luggage is bigger than she is. Dressed in her finest traveling clothes, she seems hardly able to contain her excitement as she speaks to Kaim, who happens to be waiting for the same boat to arrive.
Small world.
Mm-hmm. I mean, since Kaim's the one remembering, obviously it would be something where he was involved. I got a letter from him, she says. Almost 30 years have passed since her only son left the island of his birth. There was no word from him in all the time that until he recently wrote announcing his successes and his plan to bring her to the mainland. I've been alone ever since I lost my husband, so just to think I might be able to spend the rest of my life with my son, his wife, and my grandchildren. She sold the house she had always lived in and has been waiting for her son to come for her. The letter arrived over a week ago. I wonder why it's taking him so long. The seas are calm. Kaim arrived here on yesterday's ferry.
You mean he's late?
Kaim asks with some surprise. Very, she replies, forcing with a smile. I wonder what's wrong. Maybe he got busy all of a sudden and can't pull himself away from his work.
He hasn't written again to explain.
He's never bothered with things like that. Not since he was a child, she says, straining to smile again and glancing toward the horizon. No bigger than a dot at first, the boat is now big enough for a clearer view of the mast and silhouette. Anyhow, I'm not worried. I know he'll be on this boat, she says, raising herself from the dockside crate from which she's sitting and waving a handkerchief toward the approaching vessel. Kaim also stares hard at the boat, which gives his eyes a stern expression. Young man! At the sound of the mother's voice, Kaim hastens to soften his gaze before turning toward her. You are a traveler, aren't you?
That's right,
he says. I saw you arrive on yesterday's ferry. Are you leaving so soon? She is obviously curious about this stranger, but her face shows no wariness towards outsiders.
This would make great sleeping music.
Relieved to see this, Kaim replies.
I'm doing the same thing you are. Waiting for someone to arrive.
On this boat?
Yes, probably.
You haven't been in touch with the person?
No, we haven't agreed on a time. I might be waiting for nothing too.
Oh, really? Kaim evades further questioning with a strained smile. This is not something he can discuss with just anyone. He is on a secret mission, one that must not fail.
Gee, I wonder if his target, and the person that the woman is waiting are the same person.
What a conundrum that would be!
The woman still wears a look of puzzlement, but their conversation is swallowed up in the general hubbub on shore, accompanying the approach of the boat. At last the ferry arrives. One by one the passengers alight after their half-day trip from the capital on the mainland. Clutching the handkerchief to her breast, the mother scans each of them. There are peddlers who travel from island to island hawking their wares, and men who have come to do large-scale trading. Sunburned young men and women who come from the mainland in groups to work on the island's farms, and men coming home to the island after a season of labor on the mainland. None of the dozens of passengers, however, is the woman's son.
Oh. Bummer.
So I guess he didn't come in this ferry either. Okay.
Aww.
Once it has disgorged its island-bound passengers, the ferry takes on people crossing to the mainland. Greeters on the pier give way to well-wishers. The mother turns her back on the pier's hustle and bustle and plods her way toward the town. She hoists a heavy pack on her back and lifts a large suitcase in each hand, but she has taken only a few steps when the pack begins to slide off. Kaim reaches out to keep it from falling. The woman turns with a look of surprise, and when she realizes that Kaim is alone, she asks, "So your person didn't come either?"
Looks that way.
With only one ferry a day from the mainland, all they can do is wait until tomorrow.
Oh well.
Alright, I guess we'll try again tomorrow. Alright, Pedro, press A please, if you don't mind. Thank you. Are you going to stay on the island until your friend comes?
I might have to.
You could run up quite a hotel bill that way.
I'm alright. I'm used to camping out.
Camping out? She exclaims with a look of amazement. Then she smiles and says, "Oh well, you're young and in good condition. A few days sleeping outdoors shouldn't be too hard for you. Oh, if you only knew, lady."
I wouldn't be surprised.
Keep the hotel industry alive.
Just because I'm immortal doesn't mean I don't have rheumatism.
I wouldn't be surprised if Kaim.
Like on.
I wouldn't be surprised if Kaim's loaded from all the money he must have made across the years. He just wants to probably stay with his roots sleeping
So
outdoors.
what are you going to do, man? Go back
I wish I
home?
could. Sold my house last week. I'm sure the sun will get me right away. A hint of discouragement clouds her face, but she quickly recovers a smile and continues. The money I got for the house is a nice little bundle, so I decided to spend freely for a change. See that hotel? I'm staying in their biggest room and taking it easy all night. I'm disappointed when he doesn't show up, of course, but I've worked my fingers to the bone all these years. It won't hurt me to indulge in myself just a little bit. Though delivered with a smile, her words touch Kaim deeply. In her case, worked my fingers to the bone is not just a figure of speech, as evidenced by her suntanned face, which is so unsuited to the cosmetics she has applied to greet her son, and especially by her bony fingers, so ill concealed by the cheap rings she is wearing. Hard as she undoubtedly worked, life has granted her few rewards. There is nothing expensive about her luggage.
So she's kind of banking on this.
I'm sure... sorry, go ahead, Tim.
I'm sure your son will be here tomorrow.
Kaim says. Her deeply wrinkled face breaks into a joyous smile. Yes, of course, tomorrow for sure, she says with deep nods. I hope the person you are waiting for comes on tomorrow's boat, too.
Thank you very much.
He replies. I have an idea, she says. You might get sick camping out. If you'd like, why not stay in my hotel? I'm sure we could arrange something for one extra person. So there you go. Now we're roommating with the old lady. Why not?
Sure.
Kaim senses that she is not suggesting this out of mere politeness, which is precisely why he demurs with a smile and a nod.
Thanks, just the same.
He says.
But don't worry about me. Just take the rest that you deserve after all your long years of hard work.
If you say so. She seems somewhat disappointed, but does not press him to accept. As he watches her trudge off toward the hotel alone, all but hidden from view by her huge bundles, Kaim wonders if perhaps she was hoping that his company might ease her concern that her son might not show up after all. Even so, he decides not to chase after her and retract his refusal. He is the wrong man to spend time with a mother whose only dream is to have a happy old age.
Again, the game keeps it very vague if it was just, suggested politeness or perhaps something more to pass the time. At the very least, no one is being chastised over it.
Most likely, when tomorrow's boat arrives, she will finally be reunited with the son she has longed to see all these years. The person that Kaim is waiting for will also almost certainly cross over to the island tomorrow. The mother will undoubtedly shed great tears when her reunion takes place. Kaim, on the other hand, has a bloody job to perform when he encounters the man he's waiting for.
Kaim is Agent 47.
Agent 47 remind me, Dwebs, didn't you say that the Kaim's voice actor wasn't a Hitman? Or what am I mistaking? Kaim has been hunting him. The man... Well, go check. The man is a fugitive, and there is a reward on his head. He is known as the boss of an underworld gang in the capital, and he has committed crimes without number. Robbery, fraud, extortion, assault, and even murder. To cap his life of crime, he double-crossed his own gang and ran off with a great deal of money. Word reached the gang only a few days ago that the man is headed for this island, the place of his birth, and they hired Kaim to take care of him. The fact that they hired Kaim means that they are ready to have him killed on sight.
Why, does Kaim charge extra for murder?
I can imagine, maybe in stuff like the Underworld or somebody Kaim will be get to know.
Yeah, Steve Ferguson was in Hitman. He played one of the targets, Mateo Mendola.
Well, there you go, too. Kaim and the mother meet at the dock again the next day at the same time. And again the next day, and the next, and the day after that. The ones they are waiting for never come. A week goes by. The mother switches accommodations from her expensive hotel to a cheap inn frequented by traveling peddlers. Actually, I'm more comfortable in a cheap place like this, she tells Kaim with a laugh. But more than likely her money would have run out in the first hotel.
Yeah, especially if it was a Disney inn.
Your person is very late too, she observes.
True.
Who is it? He sidesteps the issue with a strained smile. He cannot answer a question if he is going to carry out his duty, and besides, he feels a tiny premonition deep inside. The mother stops questioning him and says, I hope your person comes soon.
Oh boy, I get the feeling Kaim's done the math at this point.
Another 3 days go by. A messenger from the gang, disguised as a peddler, whispers to Kaim as he steps on the ferry. We think he's still hiding in the capital. We're looking at every rat hole we can find, but there's no sign of him. Kaim nods silently and glances at the boat. Even after the last passenger alights, the mother stands on the pier, looking up at the boat's empty deck. Let me ask you, young man, the mother says to Kaim 3 days later. Does the place where you're camping out have a roof to keep the dew off? Kaim has been sleeping in a dilapidated old house he found near the harbor. All I need is a place to sleep, she says. Would you mind if I joined you there?
What's that?
The place I'm staying now is not much better than a ruin. I'm sure I'd be fine wherever you're staying. Yeah, I'm sure I'd be fine. It'd be fine.
Poor mother has probably wasted all her money waiting on that son of hers.
Remember, she also sold her house and everything. She was banking entirely on this.
She smiles like a child who has found a new source of mischief. Kaim does not refuse her. More precisely, he cannot refuse her. She has probably run out of money even to stay in her current flop house. Kaim has noticed her cheap rings gradually disappearing from her bony fingers.
Ah.
As they pass the night in the abandoned building, the moon, their only source of light, the mother, without prompting from Kaim, spills out her memories of her son. They are no means pleasant memories. Known as a roughneck even from his earliest years, the boy was hated by all the neighbors and caused his parents a good deal of shame.
Oh boy.
So her son was a kind of a pain in the ass even from the beginning. He would steal our money, stay out all night partying, and before he knew it, he was the #1 thug on the island. He was always getting into fights and bothering girls. During the island's annual festival, he would go wild and destroy property. So my husband and I would have to go around apologizing to everyone. The father, a skilled stonemason, lost his job when the son stole valuables from the boss's house. The mother could hardly walk down the street without being subjected to the glares and finger-pointing of the neighbors. Things got especially bad after her son set fire to the island assembly hall just for fun.
His parents raised him badly. The boy's misbehavior is the parents' responsibility. The son has become such a thug because his mother spoiled him rotten. It's the parents' fault, the father's fault, the mother's fault, your fault.
They had heard it all.
A son who happens to be, well, for lack of better
A
terms, a
troublemaker.
psychopath.
Yep.
And Kaim's hunting after somebody who's quite the criminal too.
He's not even like an innocent kid who got corrupted by the world or something. No, he's always been rotten. It was so hard over us on a little island like this. There was no place we could hide. The boy was 18 when he finally ran away from home, or rather left the island when his parents all but disowned him. The other islanders rejoiced as if a plague had lifted. One man went so far as to deliberately let the parents overhear him declaring, "I hope that bastard goes to the capital and dies in the gutter." The boy's father died 5 years ago. To the very end, he would not forgive his son, and in his final delirium, he was still apologizing to the islanders.
Jesus Christ, his son drove him to insanity.
But still, to a mother, any son is the baby she once carried. I never heard a word from him, but I went on praying that he would stay healthy in the capital, that he wouldn't catch whatever epidemic was going on, that he wouldn't get into fights. But that's just me, I guess. She gives Kaim a bitter smile. Or maybe it's just me being a mother, she adds. You have parents too, I suppose. Wait, is it?
Yeah, go on.
Of course you do. Everyone has parents.
True.
Are your father and mother alive and well? Kaim bows his head in silence.
Yeah,
On a journey with no clear beginning and no definable end, Kaim is unable to answer a question like that.
I wonder, with or without memories, does he know who his parents are? If he has any.
We never know his origins in the other world. We never get to... Instead, he asks the woman,
what is the first thing you'll say when you finally get to meet your son?
"Good question," says the mother. After thinking it over a few months, she replies, "I won't actually say anything. I think I'll just hug him and say nothing at all. I'll hold him tight and let him know how glad I am that he's alive and well."
At the very least, spank his ass for all that misbehavior.
Just supposing, though.
Kaim presses her gently.
If you knew that he had lived a less than exemplary life in the capital too, would you still give him a hug?
Her response is instantaneous. First I'd hug him, and then I'd give him a good talking to. She smiles shyly at Kaim and adds, "That's what being a parent is all about."
Look, my parents would have buried me at that point if I misbehaved that much.
The next morning she runs a high fever. She may have survived the do, but a night in the dilapidated building has taken a toll on the old woman's health. Even so, when it is time for the ferry to arrive, she struggles to her feet and heads towards the pier with uncertain steps. Alarmed, Kaim holds her back.
You're in no shape to be going out.
He says. Despite his attempts to bring down her fever with cool spring water from the forest, it is as high as ever. Her labored breathing has taken on a congested rumbling.
Ah, boy.
Yeah, keep noticing that the dialogue is supposed to be just one sentence, still ends with a comma instead of a point.
"I have to go," she insists. "My son is coming for me. I'm going to see him." She sweeps away Kaim's restraining hand, but the effort causes her to lose her balance and sink to her knees.
If he's on board, I'll bring him here.
Kaim assures her.
Tell me how I can recognize him.
Cradled in Kaim's arms, half delirious with fever, the old woman mutters, "On his left cheek, before he left the island, he got in a fight. Somebody cut him. He has a scar."
Oh my god, he's literally Al Capone's Scarface.
Good lord, yeah.
Kaim nods and lowers the old woman to a straw mat spread on the ground. He fights back a sigh and closes his eyes momentarily. Then he stares hard through a small window at the ferry dock. His suspicions were right after all, though he was sure of it last night. Kaim was given a written description of the man when he took on the assignment from the gang. There could be no doubt. Scar on the left cheek.
Boy, it sure would suck to be anybody who just accidentally got scraped on the left cheek that day.
The ferry is approaching the harbor. The pier is showing signs of activity. Kaim starts for the door. Behind him, he hears the woman saying, "Please, don't kill him. Don't kill my boy."
Yeah, it's pretty clear that she got to know it too.
Kaim stops short, but instead of turning around, he bites his lip. "I don't know what he did in the capital, but don't kill him, please." So she knows too. She knows everything.
Yep.
Bummer.
And watch this be the day he finally shows up.
If you have to kill him, if you absolutely have to, please, before you do it, let me just... Kaim leaves the room in silence. His steps are uncertain as he makes his way in the blinding glare of the afternoon sun.
See, the thing is, he's immortal, so he can afford to piss off the Mafia.
This time the man is there. Trying to lose himself among the traveling peddlers, the man with the price on his head and the scar on his left cheek steps down the pier. He is far more emaciated than Kaim's written description would have led him to believe. No doubt he is exhausted from his years as a fugitive. Still, he has fulfilled his promise to his mother by coming back to the island of his birth.
Got here a little late.
Just a bit.
His eyes dart fearfully over the pier. His expression changes from that of a man searching for someone to the panicked look of a child who has become separated from his parents. Kaim slowly plants himself in front of him. The man knows nothing of Kaim's mission, of course, and has never met him before. But he has the instance of an inhabitant of the back alleys. His face freezes, and he turns to flee. Kaim grabs him by the shoulder, but lightly, in a way that would make an onlooker think that he was witnessing the joyful reunion of old friends. The man tries to shake off the hand, but to no avail.
Mr. Kitase sends his regards.
Yes.
It would be easy enough for Kaim to kill him on the spot. His eyes show that he has no strength left to fight. Kaim is far more experienced than the man does at surviving potentially fatal encounters. The man knows this. Jova?
If you're going to kill me, get it over with.
He snarls.
But if you've got a trace of kindness in you, you'll give me one last chance to do something good for my mother. It won't take long. Just let me see her once, and you can do whatever you like with me. Let's get out of the writing booth.
Kaim lets his hand drop from the man's shoulder. He is not going to run away.
Though, I didn't make it after all.
He says with a forced smile. His face tells Kaim that he has probably resigned himself to his fate. It suggests, too, an air of relief at having finally brought his life to as a fugitive to an end.
The irony. He lives free, but he only feels free when he dies. How many men have you killed?
He asks Kaim.
I don't have to answer that.
And I don't really want you to tell me. It's just, well, looking at you, I'd say I'm older than you are. There are some things a person comes to realize when he's lived a long time. Think about the guys you've killed. Every single one of them had parents. Killing a person means killing somebody's child, right? When that finally dawned on me, I left the gang. Gangs don't pay retirement bonuses, so I sort of borrowed a little money from them and thought I'd use it to, well, giving my mother hard enough time as it is.
His voice grows thick and muffled. He shakes off the emotion and proclaims with a laugh.
Ah, what the hell? There's a lot of sentimental nonsense. I don't know how many guys I've killed over the years, so I figured I'm getting what I deserve. I can't hate you for what you're going to do.
A shout comes from the ferry dock. We'll be departing shortly, but basically. Kaim looks hard at the man and says...
Just tell me one thing.
The man says nothing in reply, but Kaim continues.
What's the first thing you're going to do when you see your mother?
What are you talking about?
Never mind, just answer the question.
I'll say I'm back. No, I won't say anything. I'll just take her in my arms. That's all.
Give her a big hug?
Sure. That's what parents and children are all about.
Kaim relaxes the grim expression on his face and jerks his chin toward the forest beyond the pier.
There's an old broken down house in the woods. Your mother's waiting for you there. Go to her.
What are you talking about?
Don't ever come back to the capital. And don't stay on this island. Take another ferry and go away to some other island with your mother.
The man looks stunned.
I mean...
His voice is trembling. Kaim says nothing more. He leaves the men behind and strides toward the boat before it can depart.
My work here is done.
And technically, it's a good thing you didn't do anything.
Mission accomplished. Kaim does not care if in return for this deed he is labeled a traitor to be pursued by the gang. The image of his own parents praying for their son's welfare has long since faded from his memory. Pulling up, please hurry, come the cries of the ferry's crew. A bit going is ringing. Startled by the sounds reverberating between the vast stretch of ocean and the open sky, broadly colored birds dart up from the forest. Large birds and small birds, parents and their young. The larger bird seems to almost be shielding the smaller ones beneath their slowly beating, outstretched wings. The end.
So the son can reunite with his mother and ideally get her the medicine that she needs.
The story is left ambiguous, I guess, on a purpose. For all we know, maybe the woman did pass away in the meantime. But, I guess for the purpose of the story, it doesn't matter.
Alright, and that was it. We'll continue in the next part, everybody.
Yeah.
See ya.